Hello, and welcome to the Designing Impactful Innovation podcast. I'm Clara, your host, and today we're talking about industrial design with two Dassault Systems experts. Felix Rockel, CATIA Design Industry Process Expert Senior Specialist, and Alain Dugousset, CATIA Core Engineering Roles Portfolio Senior Manager. Hello, Felix and Alain. Welcome to the podcast. Can you please introduce yourselves for our listeners?
All right, so my name is Felix Rockel. I am born in Hamburg, Germany. That's also where I grew up. I studied industrial design, wrote my bachelor thesis at the design department of Bugatti, and then I started my journey, my professional journey at RTT. That is now known as 3D Excite, and they were doing a lot of renderings and consulting for the visualization of our customers, mainly in the automotive industry. And now I'm already since 8 years in the CATIA IPS design team, also working with customers in the design domain from various industries, consulting them how they can improve their workflow with CATIA and our Dassault solutions on the 3D Experience platform.
Hello, my name is Alain Dugousset, and I am in fact a young mechanical engineer with more than 25 years of experience in Dassault Systèmes on CATIA, and aerospace and defense. Basically, I am, a mechanical engineer coming from SUPMECA, French engineering school near Paris, and I joined Dassault Systèmes, more than 25 years ago to work first on CATIA V5 mechanical design definitions with customers, mainly aerospace and defense and transportation and mobility customers. After several years on this topic, I spent some time directly in aerospace and industry team in Dassault Systèmes, and today I'm back on core engineering roles, doing some portfolio management and define operation directly with customer or on the innovative topics. That's a part of my life in Dassault Systèmes, and outside of it, I am also an aviation fan and nav geek and a fan of Star Wars and Marvel movie too.
All right. So to start off, how would you both define industrial design?
For me, industrial design is a capability to create not only innovation for innovation, but something which can be really loved by the customer. Something you would like to have to use it, and something with which you can have some interesting experiences, not only something beautiful and maybe not useless.
Yeah, for me, it's being kind of the advocate, I would say, for the future user or consumer of the product, because the product is definitely more than just its functional purpose. It has an aesthetical purpose as well. And as a industrial designer, you should make sure that the product feels good in the hand, is easy to use, and also easy to understand how to use it. So definitely industrial design should always focus on the user experience, I would say.
And what were your first steps in the industrial design world? What made you choose this branch of design?
For me, I think my first steps were, my father is as well a designer, not really an industrial designer, more a communication designer. But when I have to talk about my first steps, I have to mention my father there, because he was always talking about design. And it also made me kind of wanting to go into this direction. And then, of course, I studied industrial design, started to study industrial design, and then did my internship during my studies at the design department of VW first, and then later on wrote my bachelor degree at the design department of Bugatti. So those were like my first touch points with industrial design, I would say.
Yes, my side is a little bit different. As I told you, I am basically a mechanical engineer. And when I joined Dassault Systèmes, my first role was more to work on mechanical design. So it's not really what we are calling industrial design. We are trying to create some mechanical parts, some brackets or this kind of thing. But going on in Dassault Systèmes, in fact, the design appears to be very important for a real nice product. So I had the opportunity to work joining both the mechanical side and the design side of our customer expectation. And it was for me a new way of looking at what can be done with CATIA at this time, and now the platform. And in fact, basically, I think 25 years ago, nobody really imagined what we can do today. Mixing mechanical engineering and industrial design to have really nice product, innovative one with good user experience, as Felix explained. It's really very interesting. And I spent some time looking at this topic, and I learned during my career at Dassault Systèmes to go to this new topic for me.
And how do you both approach the design process in different industries? And what role does creativity play in that process?
On my side, I am more coming from aerospace and defense industry, so the design process is a little bit different. I love, in fact, to do other things than classical ones. I am really happy when I can find some time trying to develop new things. And for me, if I look at my inspiration, it's more linked to aerospace and defense, to innovation, and to other stuff coming from movies such as Star Wars and the Marvel, maybe. And it's clearly a good way to find the new ideas, futuristic ones sometimes, but keeping in mind that we are trying to create some new product with innovation and good design for the customer.
Yeah, from my side, so in my job at Dassault Systems, we consult customers from many different industries, basically from all the industries. Of course, with a little focus, I would say, on the automotive and aerospace industry, but also high-tech industry, consumer goods. So I feel that I have a quite good insight of how the design process looks like at the different industries. That's also something that I enjoy quite a lot at my job here at Dassault Systems. And I would say that definitely creativity plays the big role in all of the design processes in all of the different industries. You want to create products that don't look like the products that we used and have seen, I don't know, several years ago. As a designer, you want to invent the future and shape the future in a way. So you have to be creative. And I would also say that depending on the industry, you have to somehow foresee the trends of the future. So depending on the creation or production cycle of a product. So if you consider, for example, a car, and maybe the production cycle of a new car, or the design workflow of a new car is about 2 or 3 years, you have to imagine the product that it will look modern in 2 or 3 years, basically, when it's coming out. And this varies quite a lot from industry to industry, because other products might have even a longer production cycle or a shorter one. And this has a heavy influence on creativity and how far in the future you have to imagine the product and its shape.
All right, so taking into account the future as well, you both often work on original projects that you share online, such as Tintin's spaceship for Alain and new CATIA e-cars in your case, Felix. Where do you get your inspiration from? How do you stay inspired and continue to generate new and innovative ideas in your work?
So for me, definitely inspiration can come from everything that I experience in my life can inspire me. And I think for a good designer, it's also important to get as much inspiration as possible. So that means to not live your life hidden in a dark room where you don't have input from the outside world. You need this input as a designer. You need to have a feeling for cultural developments as well, because all this will influence your design and will inspire your design.
For me, I would say, yes, I agree with Felix. Clearly, it's the same kind of approach, but most of the time I try to use CATIA, I would say, for fun, creating some new thing. And basically, yes, if you have any patience, it's easier to find good ideas, to find inspiration coming from what you like to see, to explore, and to deep dive into the new thing you can discover, basically according to what happened aerospace market for me, or in my passion such as Marvel or Star Wars on the other side.
So going out into the world, having fun and passions, right?
Yes, clearly. It's more than important to have passions, I think. Yes, and to be able to bring them to virtual life when it's possible, when you have the tools. And on our side with Felix, I think we have the tools to do this. And it's clearly very interesting to start from this passion, some ideas you can see, some inspiration coming from this area, and then try to bring them to virtual life with CATIA on the platform.
And which of your projects are you both most proud of?
On my side, basically, yes, the Airwolf project. It's maybe you know it. It's an old series of the 80s with a futurist helicopter being able to go faster than Mach 1, which makes no sense. Today it's not possible. So clearly it's something which does not exist. But I spent some time to recreate it in CATIA, simulate it with Simulia, and of course we check that the helicopter cannot fly the speed it has in the series. That was a good fiction, you know. And basically what is very amazing is that today, using our tools, we are able to do this kind of thing, to do more, to study some alternative on this helicopter and so on. But here again, if I look back to 20 or 25 years ago, at this time, I think it will never be possible to do what I have achieved in a few hours with our tools today. Clearly, to recreate not, of course, a complete digital mock-up of the helicopter, but what I have recreated in a few hours, it's really amazing compared to, let's say, my starting point at Dassault Systèmes 25 years ago, trying to design some mechanical part.
Yeah, nice. I like what you are saying there, Alan. So for me, very, very similar. As a designer, I really, really enjoy that with the tools that we have, I can show really well my design intention because I have everything at my hand. I have virtual reality, I have visualization, I have different modeling methodologies. We have an application now where you can really showcase the product and show its functions, play some little animations, and to start to create something in digital from nothing. And then in the end, you can in VR walk around this new product and experience it with animations and stuff. This is really something that makes me really proud, I have to say, and is a lot of fun. And I enjoy this a lot as a creative person and designer that wants to create new things. And I would say out of the recent projects I did, I don't know why, for some reason, what I enjoy designing the most are car exteriors, car bodies. I thought a lot about why this is so appealing to me, but I don't know. I didn't really come to a conclusion, but I just like that the most. And so the last electric car that we designed together with my colleague Andras Stojanovic, we made a really nice car. So I'm quite proud of this one. And also at some point we did with my now manager but former colleague Thomas Balle together, we worked collaboratively created an aerospace cabin, first class cabin for an aerospace show initially. But yeah, this cabin was used at many occasions at Dassault Systèmes to showcase our tools. So yeah, this one I also enjoyed a lot. And as well, there is a drone that I've created that I like also quite a lot.
What do you think are the biggest challenges faced by industrial designers today? And what is the most important thing for an industrial designer to keep in mind when working with other designers?
So if I start to answer this, I would say definitely in general, the biggest challenge is to make something innovative. You don't want to recreate usually as a designer what is already there. But as you know, I mean, our world is pretty big and there is already a lot of stuff out there. So sometimes it feels like it's really tough to find something new or create something new. But yeah, that's the great thing in design. There is always a new shape, always something new that you can do. But that's for sure a challenge. And also nowadays, I think there is a new challenge for us designers, and that's also to produce more sustainable. So it has always been there, this challenge actually, but it became definitely much more important and more in the cultural focus, I would say, to have a sustainable design. And I like that somehow a lot, this challenge, because challenges and restrictions can lead to new and exciting designs. So I'm really looking forward what comes out of this. And I think the second part of the question was when you collaborate with other designers, right? So there I would say when you have an idea, you really love usually your own idea. And it's sometimes hard to take a step back and say, okay, maybe the idea or the design or the shape of my colleague is even better than mine. And this makes it sometimes tough as a designer to collaborate with others because you want to push your own ideas, your own shapes. But in order to make the best product, you sometimes have to sacrifice your own ideas, and that can be tough, a tough process. I would say this is the biggest challenge.
Yes, I fully agree with Felix, and I would just try to extend a little bit the question and bringing me back as a mechanical engineer. Some challenges for the designer is to be able to create something, but collaborating with other engineer to be sure that what he is creating can be produced. So it's the first thing. It's really very interesting to have innovative designs, but if you cannot produce it, or if you cannot produce it with a good sustainability approach, it makes no sense today. So clearly, the first thing to be able in the design to easily and quickly understand the impact on the planet of what you are designing, basically for the design itself, the production of the new product, and the life cycle of the product. You need to check the impact now on the planet because it's very, very important. And yes, as Felix explained, it may lead to new innovations, new ideas. Clearly, it's very important. You can have something beautiful, but if it's not good for the planet, it makes no sense today. So we really need to look at what we are calling eco-design and to be clearly able to understand what we are doing. And that's the first point for me. Another point maybe is that thanks to our platform today, we are able to create and virtually create the experience of the future product. And it's very important to try to look at this topic because here again, if we look at a sustainable approach, it may be very important to be able to virtually design something and to, let's say, virtually test it with customer at the end to say, okay, it will do the job. It will be okay for the production, but it will also be okay for the customer at the end. And as soon as you are sure the customer will like what you are developing, you will produce something which is useful. You will avoid creating something which is not used by the customer at the end. And clearly, it's very important to have this thing in mind too, because using these virtual experiences may lead to a very new way of innovate together, designer, engineer, and customer at the end.
Yeah, that's something that I also want to point out because we are talking here with me and Alan is an engineer, I'm a designer. I think this collaboration between design and engineering will become more important. We just need those both disciplines and maybe additional ones in order to produce really sustainable products. This cannot be done by just designers or engineers alone. They need to collaborate more in the future in order to make sure that a product is sustainable. And I think that we have a very good tool with the 3D Experience platform exactly to do that.
And yes, just if I can add here again, to have the capability to create everything virtually and to test, to see, to put what you are designing on the planet to see what happens when you put it under the sun or over the sea or this kind of thing. It's possible with the platform. It's easy to do it, and it's easy to share what you are working on with peers, with others, with final customers.
In your opinion, what are the key elements to design successfully, and how do you incorporate those elements into your own work?
For me, the key point is to have fun when you design. So the tools you use to design has to be fun. If it's boring, you will do not finish what you're working on. So you need to have fun when working with the tool. You need to have fun when designing what you want to design. Clearly, it's really important. If I want to have some kind of comparison with automotive for Felix, even if the car is beautiful, if you do not manage to drive it, you will not use it. So you need to have something very funny to use to be able to create some amazing design and to be able to test them easily, in fact.
Yeah, I agree with Alan that definitely the most important thing is that you have fun when you are designing. If you don't love what you do, then you will never be good at it, for sure. And also that the tools have to be easy and encourage your creativity. If you use tools that are not handy, then it will not be fun, and as well it will block your creativity because you need this flow, and your tool should not block your flow. And I would maybe add one more thing, and that's being brave. I feel that as a designer, this is a bit similar to being an artist. You put something from your inside outside to the world, and then they sort of judge it. They say, yeah, I like it, I don't like it. I like your painting, I don't like it. I don't like your song. So this can be sometimes tough. But as a designer or as an artist, you have to be brave and just not be afraid of putting your ideas, your creativity, your shapes outside to the public.
Felix, you have a special interest in automotive design. Are there any trends or car designs that you have found interesting recently? And Alain as well, or in any other fields like aerospace, for example?
Yeah, this goes a bit into the direction what I mentioned earlier. I do see this trend that we don't want to produce in the future products that are just more and more complex and have, I don't know, more fancy shapes and are super difficult and with a lot of energy to produce. So I definitely see this trend of even cars being more sustainable, friendly produced. And I'm very, very curious about this restriction. And I see some interesting products or projects already coming out into this direction, simplifying rather than more complexifying. But I think it needs to be more, and I'm really, really curious what comes there in the future in this direction.
Yes, on my side, I will say, if we look at sustainability, to be honest, today I do not understand the new way of developing big cars, big SUV. Even if I know we need some electrical batteries inside, so it may lead to bigger cars than before. On my side, yes, as Felix is explaining, I'm more looking at new innovative trends, maybe with smaller car, with something not as usual as we have today. I'm more looking at futuristic looks, futuristic design we can have in some T&M customer.
So yeah, so definitely for the long-term future, that's it is about the sustainability and about the restriction of producing something maybe more simple rather than more complex. But of course, on the other hand, when I look at some concept cars or some recent cars that came out from Ferrari or also even Bugatti, that's definitely something that touches me emotionally as a designer, and I love those shapes and somehow that's almost sculptures on wheels, right? And this is something that will always make me enthusiastic or will always excite me for sure.
Can understand, Felix, but on my side, I am more looking at Aston Martin.
Yeah, I can also go with that one.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, Felix and Alain. This was a really interesting discussion.
Yeah, you're welcome, and it was a lot of fun to talk to you, Alan, today.
Yes, you're welcome. Thanks to you. It was very interesting, yes.
Thank you for listening to Designing Impactful Innovation. To find out more, go to 3ds.com/cloud. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights and stories from our guest experts.